Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 410. Okay, I know it was the truth for me and my journey. Maybe you have had this experience, or maybe it's coming, but I wanted to do a deep dive and read all the comments that I could find online from people who dealt with nausea or they just felt full all the time on tirzepatide, semaglutide. And there were times when just nothing sounded good to them. But you know how important it is to get in your calories, to fuel your body, to make sure you're getting protein. So I wanted to put together a top 10 list. A top 10 list. I read hundreds. I have a page here of all the things that were mentioned. And then when something was mentioned twice, I would just put a little tick mark by it. And then I took the top 10, I ranked them, and that's what I want to bring to you today. It gave me a lot of good ideas. I'll tell you what, in the beginning, it was tough for me to get my calories in. When I was on Mounjaro the first couple months, I really was working hard to have my minimal amount of calories. And it was advice like this that gave me ideas. And there are things that I still add to my diet almost every day. I just got in a habit. They were good for me. So I hope this will be really useful for you. So, what to eat when nothing sounds good. Let's get started. Number 10, smoothies. They mention like Smoothie King or their local smoothie place or, getting the blender out and doing it themselves. There are some great recipes online. I can absolutely see why this made the list. That sounds refreshing, but also when you make it yourself, it doesn't have all the added sugars and it can be good for you. Number 9, deli meats. There's a wide variety of deli meats. We all tend to have our favorites. And so if you have something that you really enjoy and that's something you could just kind of roll up and eat like as a finger food, I could definitely see that. I also appreciate how you're getting some protein in here. Cottage cheese. So I looked up cottage cheese. There are a lot of foods Amy has never tried. Cottage cheese is one of them. To my knowledge, I've never tried it. There's my mom will tell you there's quite a list. But anyway, I looked it up and it's known for its high protein content. Some of you are like, yep, I knew that. It also it says relatively high amount of carbs, but not that much fat. When people were talking about cottage cheese online, it is super interesting, all the different seasonings that people said they put on their cottage cheese. Maybe you have your favorite way to eat it. Nuts or seeds. This has been extremely helpful for me. When it comes to nuts and seeds, they got a lot of votes. And I think it's because it's a healthy fat. If you really don't feel like much, you can eat it in small quantities, but it really helps you kind of bump your calories up. So I thought that was a great one. Nuts and seeds. Okay, moving on to number 6. Oh, yes. People talked about eggs. People also talked about eggs on toast. It got a lot of votes. So I wanted to mention both. And I can see how that would be, you could make it in a way that it was kind of bland, kind of easy on your stomach. That's a good one. Okay, now we're getting to the super duper popular ones. Let's talk a little bit about yogurt. People talked about yogurt. A lot of people talked about Greek yogurt. I have this kind of layered thing. I used to do it all the time. Now I haven't been as hungry for it. That's probably because I did it for a couple years straight before I started Mounjaro. But you kind of just put a layer of Greek yogurt and then blueberries and then some cinnamon and then some like whole wheat cereal and then sunflower seeds. And it was absolutely fantastic. But that's when I really started realizing, hey, look at the nutritional value between yogurt and Greek yogurt. But this is a great one. Cheese sticks or cheese slices. Yes. People talked about Baby Bell. People talked about all sorts of different ways that you can eat your cheese. But I think we all have our favorites. I know what my favorite is. It's a go-to. It's in my refrigerator drawer right now. We all have our favorite cheese, and it comes in so many different ways. So I was a little bit surprised, but cheese made 4th place. Are you ready for 3rd place? In 3rd place, yep, soup. And you get to choose, like, how's your stomach doing? Plenty of people mention just bone broth, which isn't going to give you the calories, but sometimes if you don't have much on your stomach and you just need something, I can see where bone broth is good for people that are really feeling that nausea. But for those of you, nothing sounds good, but soup does. Hey, this was me when I was in the airport last week. Nothing sounded good. I was kind of like in a food court of an airport. And I said, John, I'm going to get soup. And my soup looked very much like this picture. But I also want to say that people brought up like miso, they brought up chicken and rice. There's all different types of soups, but I can see how that would be very appealing. Okay, second place, bananas. I had to once for some blood work that I did. Literally, it was in the last year. It's the first time, and I could not eat it all. I think it's the first banana I had since before my memory, because to my memory, at the age of 49, I had my first banana since I was a toddler. My sons just love them. When they left for college, I got sad I couldn't put them in the grocery cart anymore. You know how you come up with those little habits, those silly things that come up on you and are like, those create the nostalgic moments of things you miss. You didn't even know you're going to miss them. But a lot of people talked about peanut butter on their bananas. While we're talking about fruits here, also applesauce was mentioned, apples were mentioned, frozen grapes were mentioned, and then yes, you see here peanut butter and banana. Okay, what do you think first place is? Anybody? Anybody? When nothing really feels good. And this is the one that people recommended to me, and I still have a protein shake about 5 mornings out of 7. It is very helpful for me to get some good, healthy calories, a good amount of protein to start my day. And if you look it up on Amazon, it's VEGA, Vega. I did another bit of research and looked at, hey, what do people recommend? And Vega had the best taste for price and for protein. I want to leave you real quick with some honorable mentions. Baked potato, even like sweet potato, most people mention just having it plain though. People mention avocado, and they also mention toast. Some people mentioned even putting those two things together. Also, I want to mention the plain tortilla. People talked about lots of different things related to the plain tortilla. They talked about melted cheese with peanut butter, with cream cheese, using it like as a sandwich wrap, and the soft taco idea. And then, yes, the good old go-to, the crackers. They mentioned the oyster crackers, the saltine. Now, growing up, we were in a saltine house, and some of you may know the tall metal saltine. Now you find them at antique shops, but that's what we always kept our saltines in. Those long packages of saltines. Oh my, now we're really having a nostalgic moment. But I had oyster crackers left over from some chili. And when I was really sick, if you remember, before Christmas, I had to head off to the hospital actually twice in one day. And when I didn't have anything on my stomach for 3 days, and those oyster crackers were very helpful during that time. So when nothing tastes good, I wanted to give you some great ideas that worked for other people, and I hope they work for you. Okay, everybody, I want to give a shout out to day 118. A shout out to day 118 because this video was inspired by one of my videos that got taken when they shut down my YouTube channel. Still not really sure why, but I wanted to give a shout out to day 118. It had the same exact title as our video today. Okay, y'all, thanks for joining me. Can't wait to see you on the next video.